very normal. You don't have to be crazy. Like in Uruguay, tú eres uruguaya, ¿no? In Uruguay also. South America. ¿Tú eres uruguaya? No, tú eres uruguaya. So it wasn't exchange, but for my mother, it wasn't okay because I wasn't doing something right. But if I see myself when I was happy, I was happy when I was talking with my neighbors, my old ladies, because they listened to me and I listened to them. So I was doing something to be happy that doesn't belong to a normal child, but I know my talent. I like to listen and I like to bring something that is going to be here. No? So then I realized my talent because of the McDonald's thing. And now I realize that the talent because even if I have the fear of speak English, I can do it anyway. If I have to go to a judge, I need a lawyer who speaks English because I'm not going to say a word. But I say something like non-content, no contest, no contest, no contest, no contest. Every time that I have a traffic ticket, I because I heard to the lawyers and he said only that. So I said I'm gonna go and say that because I'm not gonna pay a lawyer. So when the judge said no, I don't know, like many things, and I said no contest, and say okay, you are free. But since this is my talent, fear doesn't stop me. So, do I know my talents? Again, this might be a job to do during the week. Start looking at the first years of your life. Start looking at what really makes you happy to do. Because talent is not something that we think, it's something that we do. Sometimes doesn't have a form. Sometimes we do it in a different way. But if you see all the time that you are doing something that makes you feel joy, remember joy comes from soul. So if you are doing something that makes you feel joy, it's because you are doing something that is creating or is putting outside your destiny. If you believe that there is not a profession for that, you have a problem. You have to create a profession. If you cannot study that, you have a problem. You don't have a problem. You have Google. Just Google and learn something. But if you have a talent, nothing outside is going to stop you to create something new and in the time to realize that you are going to be bright, you're going to give light to the world doing that. Sometimes it's cooking, and doesn't mean that you have to own a restaurant, mean that you have to cook. And sometimes you start cooking in your house, and you cook that well that is going to lead you to maybe a business or something else. Maybe you are going to be just cooking free for people because you're going to receive money from other part. But just your job is not what you're going to do with that. Your job is start doing that. That is going to be the feeding of the soul. If you don't assume your talent and you're not doing something with your talent, your soul is feeling like what I'm doing here. No? Neglected. I didn't know that word. Thank you. Sounds very good. Okay, so we have 20 more minutes. I'm going to do a little meditation, a little Italy meditation at the end, like 5-minute meditation. But I want to open to see if you have any questions. Yes.
Many people, particularly this last topic that you just mentioned, where you say talent and profession.
Mm-hmm.
Many people have a problem reconciling talent and profession. And how do you get somebody who believes that, this is my profession, I'm doing this, but this is not their talent? How do you get them to reflect upon it and say, I need to leave this and follow
okay,
my talent?
That's a good question. You don't have to leave anything. Actually, I don't take decision to stop and finish anything. I let it finish. Talent doesn't have to be a profession matching the. There is nothing between what I do and McDonald's. There is not a match. Thank you very much. So, talent is more related with the intention of doing something. Like, for example, maybe you know you live together.
We married.
Almost. You're married. Okay.
We married.
So what's the, because sometimes it's better from the outside. What he does that you can see that he's enjoy doing. Like literally enjoy. Now I realize in English, in enjoy means enjoy, like in the soul.
Several things.
Several things. Like the most important.
Extremely smart person who likes to share knowledge and enjoy that.
Okay. If you have joy teaching someone, not in the way that teach, I'm using the word teaching to simplify that all of that, but if you like to give knowledge to someone who you see you're going to give a better something with the knowledge that you're given, not because you know better, you know, because people can be better if you give knowledge, no? And what do?
I'm actually an engineer, and the funny part is I actually realized my talent through it. I do exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
I enjoy what I do,
Uh-huh.
my talent, and I teach when
Okay.
I do it. So
But even if you work in a supermarket,
Mhm.
not in the engineering thing, you work in a supermarket, and maybe you are just the manager of Whole Foods, one of the Whole Foods. You are going to have joy teaching someone to do something. So even if let's imagine you lose your job, this job, and you have to be in Whole Foods. That is very sad because you are an engineer. No, your talent is going to save you. Because if you know your talent, you are going to put your talent in the way that fits in that particular job. You see the difference?
Yes.
So you don't have to quit because, and this is the good thing, when you start feeding the soul, like you paying attention to the soul start, we call in the Course of Miracles, we call this miracle. Miracles start to happen. So maybe in that Whole Food come from a better engineer company that you were before, and they offered you a job just because you were talking about mayonnaise, like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I never look for this as a career. I'm gonna make a short story. In Miami, when I was 28 already, and I went to the circles, spiritual circles, I realized that nobody understand anything. And people were saying yes, but they didn't understand. So I started asking questions in Spanish. Of course. To don't confuse bring more confusion. So the people asked me, Julio, why don't you open a group? And I opened a group. And the people from the group said, Julio, why don't you do a program for a weekend? And I do a program for the weekend. And for that weekend, I write something to give to the people. 3 months after, I had an interview with someone from Spain who were looking for stories for people who is looking for God outside of the churches. And she just asked me for a quote, but she started talking to me and realized that, I don't know, she felt that I was helping her in a way. She offered me back a full interview. And in the interview, I said, I wish I can have a book. She understood. I have a book. So after 3 days of that press release the news was released, they called me from Telemundo, which is the network, and I said, we want to invite you to talk about your book. And I said, what book? But it felt so good, so I said, oh, while I was thinking what to say, and I said, oh, the book. I had a problem with the publisher company. It's gonna be ready in 1 month. So, and I said I had to write a book. No, it was written already. It was the thing that I wrote for the weekend. I put the book in a paper. I bought 500 because the company didn't want to. This crazy guy. So I put it in Amazon, and I had not a website in that moment. As 10 years ago was a blog spot in a blog. So I went to Telemundo and sitting in Telemundo, a journalist from Vanidades, which is like Vanity Fair in Spanish, they asked me for an interview that was released in all Latin America, and all Latin America started asking for my book, and voila. Since you know your talent, the energy of your talent are bigger than you because it's come from the soul. So personality doesn't have to interfere with your soul wants to do. So once you know why you came to, and doesn't mean that you have to know a profession, but the intention beyond the profession or beyond what you do is going to move that energy to make things happen. Like that. Did you understand? That was the question?
Completely.
No?
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
In the transition of learning to adapt or to learning about your talents, how do you handle that with society or the system or everything that happens through that transition? Thinking that the learning the talent or realizing my talent is that process.
In which way you put the society in there? Like they are expectations or something?
Yes, let's call it expectations.
Okay.
Or like how you are supposed to behave as
Okay. You should talk to my mother. My mother, not even today, understand what I'm doing. She still calling me to say, you're not going to look for a job. Because she understands that the job is 9 to 5 and there is a salary and that is going to take you to, I think, the third question of the 5 questions, which is, if there is something outside that doesn't have more power than me, it's because I'm not using or trusting in my own power. I know that if I do something different, it's going to create everything, it's going to create chaos outside. Normally happen. And it's supposed to happen because the only way that you can change something, the lady who did a better garden in that small town, at the first day, everybody was hating the lady, because she did something that she's not supposed to do that. How she's going to have a better garden than us? But after the 5th day, after the month, it was 3 ladies changing the garden. So if we start using the energy of the soul, at first it's going to be very uncomfortable, especially for others, because what the others expect is not based on us. It's based on their fears. My mother, she said, "Oh, the best I can think of for my child, big child, is to have a job 9 to 5." That's because she loved me. So once you understand that the other is being affected because they cannot love you anymore the way that they love you, because in the way that they love you wasn't that format, and we are changing the rule. So they still loving you, but you don't need anymore that kind of love, which is very conditional. You are changing something. And if we need something right now in the world, is people like que ponga gente incómoda, to make people uncomfortable, because that's the way they are going to change. So I understand your position, but I want to change the question. What's going on with me? Is I still, if I want to change, but also want to be fit, I want to fit in the society. I'm going to be the crazy one. No, my mother did what they call the quantum salto leap. My mother is still out of the quantum leap. But most of the people that said, Julio, you are crazy. Are you going to write a book? Do you think that you're going to live doing this thing that you don't even know what you're doing? All these people who were very upset on me, and not because on me, because I was doing something that made me happy, and they were not happy doing what they do. When this happened, I understand that something is going to happen, which is happening now. They are the first one in commenting my post in Facebook. Oh, we are so proud of you. We always know that you were born to do this. So don't worry, because that's the moment that you realize that the best that you can do for them is to inspire them to awake themselves. And awakening is like waking up in the morning. Is not easy. No, could be a beautiful day in California, but sometimes when I stay in bed, awakening is like it's not comfortable. But when you go out of the bed and you wash your face, you say, "Oh, that's a nice day." So when you go through the little process, then you receive. So I hope I'm convincing. In my okay.
And see, your words got to me even in English. So
thank you,
it's in your talents.
thank you.
Yeah.
I just cannot believe that I have an hour and something speaking English, but I'm very proud of myself. Really, I'm very proud of myself.
Okay, so I was a bookkeeper for
You say the mic.
I was a bookkeeper for more than 20 years, and I kept on telling myself, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so I finally did it a year and a half ago. I mean, I was used to this paycheck every 2 weeks. And, money is like, okay, this is the most money I ever made in my life, So to me, to my kids, it was a huge deal, What, you're going to go and quit your job, your good paid job? It took a lot of courage. It took a lot of years to go within, but I finally did it. I took a year off. I hiked almost every mountain in the San Fernando Valley. And I finally decided to open a dance and fitness studio in San Fernando. And we teach yoga and Zumba. And I have like 4 yoga instructors and 4 Zumba instructors, a hip hop instructor. But yeah, it's hard because your family at the beginning, they don't trust you, they don't support you. But the people outside, they're like, oh, you're an inspiration, or you're this. And now you're like, okay, thanks. But it does take a lot of courage.
Exactly. But for that moment, the question is, do I see myself in others? Because what they are saying, if that affects you, is because they are putting in words a fear that you already have. So you recognize you have fear, and it is okay to have fear. The fear that is not okay when the fear is bigger than yourself. But it's okay to have fear. It's new. When I started sweating here like an hour and a half ago, it was okay because I have fear. Why? Because it's new.
It's new, yeah.
So everything is new. And also, regarding something new, when we move to something new, sometimes we have very high expectations, not because we want something big to happen, but we have a fear to fail. So we have to be okay quickly, so we are not going to fail. You're not going to fail anyway, because you are walking your walk, no? You are walking your destiny. Doesn't mean that finances and employment and everything is going to be okay at the start, because you are creating something. So be patient and be.
But the feeling I get from the people that go there and they.
Microphone, yes.
The feeling that I get when people leave the place, it's so fulfilling that like takes over everything. So.
Exactly. So at the end, when you are assuming your talent, the money is not going to be the most important. And when the money is not the most important, money becomes big. Because you are not pushing your money and you're not stressing your finances, and you're giving your finances to grow normally as everything grows. So at the end, people is not only happy, but live very well financially because they are walking the destiny. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been gifted since I was a little kid. And
Or what's your gift? What is your gift?
I have many.
Okay.
Yeah. One is going ahead of time. And and the thing about it is I never find out somebody who can guide me. and that was a fear. I asked other kids if they do have the same thing that I do have it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, they say, no, that's crazy. So I keep myself inside it for a long time, seeing how the world turns into, how that I can stop this thing what I have. What is it that I do have?
It start bothering.
It's not really affected me emotionally, so I got silent. I keep everything to myself because it was too many things that are happening in the world. Because I'm a futurist. I am in the present. I live in the present. I know what's going on.
But your energy is. I understand.
Go in different,
Uh-huh.
different dimensions. I would say that way. But because I stopped at one point in my life, I could not handle it anymore. So I closed the door.
Okay.
And I keep on closing, I keep on opening, until finally I was able to close it. And then for some period of time, my memory were like in amnesia. So I become a normal, say normal person.
Like me.
Like everybody else, Because everybody is, I think I'm normal, because everybody
Yeah.
has their own talent.
Exactly.
But the thing about it is, part of our memory are in amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
That it's not that we don't know, but it's there. But how can you find, my question is, how can you find out that how many talents a person has it, and what's the most powerful that you are going to be having a purpose in order for you to make it happen now? Because it's the way that I see it, it's not that I see sometimes in a vision on it, but touching, but it's more like in my mind.
Yeah, more than a feeling, right?
Yeah.
You can feel that something is going to happen that maybe you don't see it clearly, but you know that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know it, like
Yeah.
sometimes in details. And most of the time I use my common sense. If I have a message that I want to say to somebody, I say it, not to scare it, but I'll make him wake up. And the way that I see each individual, it has a box inside.
Mm-hmm.
But all you need to know is to know the key.
Exactly.
It's a code. And the mind is not going to let you in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that easy.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about it, what is the most important in order for you to be having the life purpose? The most important part, one of them, in order for you to develop. Like she mentioned something about, that she was doing an accounting or whatever she was. Now she found it.
Yes.
And now we have so many talented.
We don't have that many. I mean, we have so many possibilities, but we have so few talents because we are focused on doing something. Like in this case, it's the first thing that you are feeling, and I have a feeling that you feel that there is many because you're not going to take charge of the big one, and said, "No, I have many." No, you have a big one.
You're right. I don't want to.
You have a big one, and you don't want to take charge. And you're using an excuse, which is very human, but the excuse is, I don't have anybody to guide me. Nobody can guide us in our talents. And I'm sorry to say this if you're expecting someone to come and... nobody can...
Perhaps I didn't, in this moment, perhaps I want to say that because each person go in a path, someone else says, okay, not that I don't know if I'm saying correctly. I know how that I go. I know which one. And you're right. The most important is scary for me because it's really powerful. And you have to take responsibility for something that is really...
Okay. Since you don't want to take responsibility, you are expecting to somebody who can hold with you in a way that somebody is going to guide you. When you are responsible for your gift, you are the only one. If there is something that you have the full power because it's given to you, is your gift. And I'm gonna share with you my own thoughts and my own experience. When I started doing this job, which is not only this, but in the groups and all of that, I found myself saying very powerful things that I didn't even know that I know that. And I said, Julio, how you can say that? Because where did you prepare to say that? Did you where to, I don't know, did you visit the master to he tell you that? It was very scary, not the gift, but the people. Because the people is going to say, Julio, why you say that? How you come out with that thing to me? So, and that I have to work on that. And I was, even if I were scary, I never stopped doing it. So your question is, what can I do to put that gift? Never stop doing it, even with fear, like I'm doing today. I have fear what I'm going to say to this lady, but I feel that I have to say this to this lady. So go and say it. Then have fear. Oh, why did I say that? But then, because in the way that you activate your gift is doing that. That's what I said. It's not something that you have to realize. No, it's something you have to do, and something you have to do to serve someone. So I'm going to say something so terrible for you, which is there is so many people who are supposed to be help, but your gift and this ego thing that you have, the fear thing, is not only affecting you, it's affecting the people that your soul want to help. In one of my books said that God minus Julio, which is me, no, is, how is that?
Julio minus God.
Julio minus ego is God. The problem is not that you are not listening to your soul. The problem is that your ego is interfering because you know your gift. So you're listening to yourself. But your ego is in the middle. Just move the ego. A little bit, just a little bit, not totally. So your ego said, if you said this to this person is going to say, what is this crazy woman saying to me? This does a fear, no? So say it, and then expect to the people said, you are crazy. It's going to happen 2 or 3 times that the people is going to say, oh, thank you. You don't know how much that means for me. That is going to kill the ego. When I start with the lectures, I said I have to stop, no? 2 minutes. When I start with the lectures, I felt like, and also because my language and my approach was so simple, I said, why these people is paying to listen this? I'm robbing money's people, no? Because this is so easy to see. And the people said, Julio, thank you. I never thought that in that way. You just opened a big window for me to see different something. Once I start listening to them, my ego keep quiet. It doesn't die. But my ego, when come back and said, Julio, how are you going to tell her? I said, remember that lady? So I suggest that you start putting the ego in the second place and the gift in the first place. Just don't kill the ego. Have the fear after.
So, in another word, let go.
In the way that you want to put it, but just do it. Okay? Because you are lacking not only yourself living your destiny, but helping others. Because you have that to give. No? Even financially. How is your finances? Okay? Okay.
But I don't care.
No, you should care.
You know what?
You should care because your finances has to be better in order. The reason that your finances are not that good is because life is lacking you until you realize that you have to do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. If your finances were well, you're going to be entertaining yourself and say, oh, okay, this is good. But life at this point of your life is taking everything away until you assume your power. You understand?
Yeah, but I think now
Give her the microphone.
Microphone. Sorry.
now I realize it, for me, money is no problem. I always feel
I understand.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, now I understand, if I couldn't be millionaire many times
Mhm.
because I have a really good imagination to create things and make money
Mhm.
out of that. So the thing about it is, when that point in my life would have become millionaire, I would not be open up, and that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
But now is the time to be millionaire as a consequence of
I'm already millionaire.
anything, whatever. But no. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
When you listen your soul, you listen to God.
Yes, when we listen the soul, we are listening direct line to God. Yes.
That's the reason that things work.
That's the reason that everything works. When the soul is cuando el suelo está. Thank you very much.
You have your mic.